Hi, Hugo Reed. This week, our nonfiction book is going to be called Bear. It's part of the Watch Me Grow series by DK Publishers. I love their books. Look at these great photos. Look at his feet. Do you see the pads on the bottom of his feet? And you can see the claws too. Do you notice that? And get really close. Do you see those claws? Be like our nails, but there's her claws because they need to use them. Okay, we have a table of contents. I am a bear, the biggest animal in the woods and forests where I live. I can swim and climb trees. My thick fur keeps me warm in the winter. I am king of the forest. Kind of on the fold, it's sort of hard to see him. There. That fur does look thick, doesn't it? Peering around, bears are curious. They often stand up on their back legs to look over the bushes. There he is, he's standing up more like a person instead of on four legs like a bear. Bears have long, sharp teeth and strong jaws. Ooh, he has his mouth open and those are his teeth. Those are long, sharp teeth, aren't they? The bear's sharp claws help it hunt for food. How do you suppose they would use that to help for food, hunt for food? You think they might claw in the dirt? I think they might. They could open a lot of things. That's like when you're camping, you have to be so careful of not having your food out because bears are very strong and they can open just about anything. This says, Dad fights for Mom. Dad had to fight with other male bears to see who would get to mate with Mom. Dad was the biggest bear, so he won. The younger and smaller bear will lose the fight. Their fight may look scary, but these bears aren't trying to hurt each other. They are wrestling to see who is the strongest. I was born in the den. Look at that. That doesn't look much like this bear, does it? It has a lot of growing to do, just like human babies have to grow a lot. It's winter when we are born, but Mom has found a warm, snug place to protect us from snow and cold. The place where we live is called a den. I'm bald and blind. This week-old cub was born tiny, blind, and almost completely bald. It depends on its mother for everything. So if it's bald, it doesn't have hair, and if it's blind, it can't see, right? A lot of animals, like kittens and puppies, their eyes are closed when they're born, and they stay closed for a few days. So it sounds like bear is sort of the same thing. During the cold winter, the mother does not eat. She spends all her time feeding her cubs, keeping them warm and sleeping. After 1 month, our eyes are open and we have fur. So this is 1 month old. It talks later, well, let's see if it's on the next page. I know in the back it talks about them having these white fur collars, and you can see that on that baby bear, can't you? I'm taking my first steps. After 2 months in the den, the weather is warmer and it's time for us to start exploring the world. We are ready to start learning all about how to be bears. So here it is when it's first starting to come out. It's there with its mama. Watch and learn. Bear cubs are curious. They learn by watching Mom and by playing. Bear cubs get most of their food by drinking milk from their mother. So they're not eating regular food yet. Just like human babies drink milk for a long time before we give them real food. We are 3 months old and very good at walking. It's time for Mom to teach us about the different foods we can find in the woods. We stay close to Mom so she can protect us. This one says very nice. They're eating some berries. The young cubs feed on berries, insects, and small animals such as frogs. Yummy! Wait for me, I'm right behind you. He's saying to the mama. You see them all walking in a line there? The cubs have many new smells to learn about. The mom is on the lookout for male bears who might hurt her cubs. Some bear facts in this little window here. It says bears have a great sense of smell. They can smell food over 1 mile away. The cubs drink milk from mom until they are about 5 months old. By watching mom carefully, the cubs learn about foods that are safe to eat. Wow, if you could smell food 1 mile away, that's a long way. That is a really good sense of smell. Look, there's mom standing up. Mom keeps a watch for danger while we practice climbing. It's not as easy as it looks. When she stands up, mom can see a long way away. Look, it says, up we go. Starting up this log. Whoops, whoops. Hold on tight. You think he'll drop and let go? I think so. He doesn't have very far to go down. Danger alert. A mother bear will chase off almost any danger, but hungry wolves are on the lookout for cubs they can separate from their mothers. So they have some natural predators, don't they? They have to watch out for wolves. Look at this picture of them fishing. Do you see the fish that are coming up? Some of them are jumping. Here's one that's jumping out of the water. Whoo! Looks cold. It's time for me to join the older bears for my first fishing lesson. I learn how to catch the slippery fish by catching it and by watching and copying the other bears. This 6-month-old cub is too small to stand in the fast-moving water, so he fishes from the shallow water at the edge. So it's kind of hard to see because this picture is dark, but here's the bear cub. Do you see how it's not moving nearly as fast here? It's smoother water, whereas here it's starting to go over a waterfall, it looks like. Or, yeah. And those salmon are swimming. Well, those may not be salmon, I take that back. The fish are swimming upstream and jumping up over the waterfall. So he's not going out where it's going really fast. He's kind of standing on the edge where the water's not quite so hard to stand up in. Clams for lunch. Bears love seafood of all kinds. This mother and cub are digging for clams. Their long claws are perfect clam openers. They would be, wouldn't they? If you're a big animal, you need to eat a lot of food, so you eat lots of different things. Time for a long sleep. Winter is here and there's not much food to eat. It's time to find a cozy place to go to sleep. We will sleep until spring when there's more to eat. Bears have grown fat during the summer and fall. The extra weight will nourish them until spring. Bears grow thick coats of winter fur, so their fur gets extra thick. They can't put on a jacket, right, like we do. So that's how they do the same thing. Their fur gets thicker in the winter. These bears have dug a cave to spend the winter in. There's their cave. I'm tired. Time for bed. The cubs share their mother's den until they are almost 2. So they are still living with their mom. And do you see this? These are my footprints. So if you ever were out walking and saw those, do you see that's like the front looks a little different from the back, doesn't it? Their front paws, the way they walk. So that's what their footprints look like. It's looking very cold. A good time to start hibernating, isn't it? The circle of life goes around and around. So the circle of life is like our life cycle. So look how it's showing them getting bigger and bigger till they're adult bears. Do you know now you know how I turned into a grown-up bear. Bye-bye, I'm off to sleep. It says, here are my friends from around the world. The sloth bear lives in forests in India and Nepal. Its favorite food is termites. Look, its fur almost looks like a heart on its chest, doesn't it? The giant panda lives in China and eats only bamboo leaves and shoots. These American black bears live in forests and don't like open spaces. So they'd rather live around lots of trees. It's probably easier to protect themselves that way. I'm the world's biggest bear. I live in the cold, snowy Arctic. Polar bears' favorite foods are seals and walruses. There's another one. Speckled black bears, I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. Spectacled bears are from South America. That's a new one for me, and I'm having a hard time saying that word. They build their nests in trees. So those bears live up in trees. That's interesting. The smallest bear is the Asian sun bear. I'm a black bear cub. Friendly facts. Polar bears are very good swimmers. They can swim for long distances without a rest. A female bear is called a sow. A male bear is called a boar. Bears see color and have much better hearing and smell than humans. So a female is a sow and a male is a boar. We usually just call them bears, right? But they have other names. I think there's one more page that gives us a few of the words, and this is where it talks about that collar. So this says collar, the ring of white fur around the necks of all young cubs. So that was a new fact for me when I was reading this book. Sleeping bears usually sleep all winter. This is called, I bet you know, hibernation. Cub. For the first year of its life, a baby bear is called a cub. Nursing, when the mother bear feeds the cubs with her milk. Salmon, a type of fish that is very fatty and is good for bears. So maybe that was actually a salmon that we saw in that picture going upstream. Omnivore. Can you say that one? Omnivore. You might have heard of herbivores or carnivores. This is an omnivore. Omnivores are animals that eat almost anything. Bears are omnivores. So if an animal is an herbivore, it eats only plants. And if it's a carnivore, it eats meat. So they would be carnivores, herbivores, omnivores. They eat everything. So they eat the things that carnivores eat. They eat the things that herbivores eat. They eat everything. I hope you enjoyed the book. I know Kinder's reading about bears and about hibernation, so shout out to everybody. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.